I'm Maya Trabulsi. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, the vision for the Chargers' home stadium if the team leaves San Diego behind.
The problem with Qualcomm is just too big for us. And you go to a place where they've got maybe 25, 30,000, it looks like a pretty good crowd. You get 25 or 30 in the queue, it looks like nobody's there.
Knock it down or build it up. The different game plans for the Mission Valley site and San Diego State.
A holiday dedicated to feeding hungry bellies and the economy. I'm Kenny Goldberg. We break down the Thanksgiving weekend by the numbers. And Turkey Talk, helping you avoid mistakes in the kitchen as you prepare a savory symphony for loved ones.
Working on the holidays, the campaign to make sure store workers are paid a fair wage on Black Friday. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Travel alert or no, the holiday travel rush is happening now. Nearly 47 million Americans are taking off for the Thanksgiving weekend by plane, train, or automobile. This is the busiest travel season seen since 2007. Experts credit a stable economy. Taking a look at the flights at San Diego International. Drivers will also see more patrols on the highways. The CHP maximum enforcement period is happening now until Sunday.
Try to stay at safe speed, which comes in hand with give yourself plenty of time to reach your destination. Avoid distracted driving, which is always a major issue. And if you're going to be drinking, designate a sober driver.
Relief at the pumps is also driving record travel numbers. We are seeing the cheapest gas prices for this time of year since 2008. No fear entering the holidays. Today, President Obama reassured Americans. He says there is no intelligence signaling any terrorist plot against the U.S. ahead of Thanksgiving.
I want the American people to know, entering the holidays, that the combined resources of our military, our intelligence, and our Homeland Security agencies are on the case. They're vigilant, relentless, and effective. In the event of a specific credible threat, the public will be informed.
He asks Americans to stay vigilant, but urges people to go about their normal activities around Thanksgiving. Bundle up for a brisk Thanksgiving holiday. The king tides hit their peak along the San Diego coast. High surf crashed near the pier in Oceanside this morning. These are the highest astronomical tides of the year, and they have prompted a coastal flood advisory that will stay in effect until Friday. And there's a chance for showers on Thanksgiving. We are expecting 60 degrees by the beaches and more cloudy skies in the inland valleys with 60s. Chilly in the mountains with 40s. And a mix of sun and clouds in the desert with 60s. Carlsbad is ratcheting up its water use restrictions, trying to avoid potential fines. The state's water board fined 4 districts for failing to meet strict conservation targets. Carlsbad officials say they want to stay off that list. The city is cutting back outdoor watering from 2 days a week to 1. Weather may help. Water district leaders say rainy conditions and cooler temperatures will help keep water use down this winter. The other big question, if the Chargers leave San Diego, what happens to Qualcomm Stadium? The one football team that's not going anywhere are the San Diego State Aztecs, who share the venue. KPBS editor Tom Fudge explains why the college may benefit by a team move.
The Aztec football team hasn't played on the SDSU campus since 1966, but evidence of those games can still be seen in these decaying stone terraces in back of Viejas Arena.
This used to be the San Diego State football stadium. Now it's just a remnant of what used to be the bleachers of the old Aztec Bowl. But it's a font of memories for longtime Aztec football fan Tom Abels.
Oh, it was a great place. It was fun. And as you can imagine, if you look, you can see what a great spectator stadium it was, because the first seats, you had elevation, or you weren't down on the ground. and you were within a few feet of the sideline, you were really in the game here.
It's not the same in Qualcomm Stadium, which the Aztecs have shared with the Chargers for decades.
The problem with Qualcomm, it's just too big for us. For example, Ken and I, we've just been on the road, and you go to a place where they've got maybe 25, 30,000. It looks like a pretty good crowd. You get 25 or 30 in the queue, it looks like nobody's there.
The days of the old collegiate stadium aren't gone. In fact, some universities have decided that the warmth of an intimate campus venue is just the feeling they need to help alumni feel connected and willing to support the alma mater, even if it means spending a lot of money on a new stadium. Maybe the best comparison to San Diego State is seen in my old alma mater, the University of Minnesota. For many years, the Gopher football team shared a downtown Minneapolis enclosed stadium called the Metrodome with the Minnesota Vikings. Joel Maturi is the U of M's former athletic director. He says within 10 to 15 years, people began to wonder if moving into the Dome had been a mistake.
Well, some people never felt that it was a good time to move to begin with. And with the lack of success, lack of student attendance, lack of alumni coming back to campus, even for homecoming, there was a little bit of a discussion.
Those discussions culminated with the opening in 2008 of TCF Bank Stadium, built on campus on what used to be a field of parking lots. Maturi says the change in game day atmosphere has been palpable.
We had homecoming a couple of weeks ago, and it was great to drive down the street and see the kids having fun, see older alums come back. It's an energy that Minnesota hasn't seen in 25-plus years when they were in the Dome.
Bank Stadium, as it's commonly called, was built at a cost of $290 million and seats up to 50,000 fans. Remember, this is Big Ten football. A more modest collegiate stadium is in the works in Fort Collins, Colorado, where Colorado State is creating a structure with a seating capacity of 40,000 at an estimated cost of $220 million. Back in San Diego, California State Senator Marty Block says a new stadium could be part of an expansion of San Diego State. Speaking outside the 70,000-seat NFL arena in Mission Valley, he says that expansion could create a kind of satellite campus in the place of Qualcomm Stadium and its parking lot.
I think the stadium ultimately gets knocked down. I don't think anybody wants it for anything, and it's frankly too big for San Diego State, and San Diego State as the sole tenant couldn't make a go of it anyway. So instead of having the big Qualcomm Stadium, you put in the housing and classroom buildings, everything else I've mentioned, and then in a fairly small portion of what is a huge parking lot, you can build a much smaller stadium. Hopefully you bring in a Major League Soccer team. And in San Diego, there'd be a big market for Major League Soccer. You bring in a Major League Soccer team, you make it a public-private venture.
Block's plan is full of unanswered questions. Those include whether Major League Soccer, the MLS, wants a soccer team in San Diego that would share a stadium with San Diego State. Neither Major League Soccer nor the San Diego State Athletic Department would comment for this story. So how do you pay for a university stadium that would cost up to $300 million? Split the cost with a pro soccer team, charge a student fee, solicit state funding, alumni donations, sponsorships, and naming rights. The possibilities are many. Joel Maturi, the former athletic director of Minnesota, says at least you're not asking taxpayers to give money to the billionaires who own teams in the NFL.
College is unlike the pros. I truly believe the Gophers will be playing here at the turn of the next century.
Tom Fudge, KPBS News.
And KPBS video journalist Nick McVicker helped produce that story. Her scientific legacy will live on. Following up on the northern white rhino that died at the San Diego Zoo, today the zoo says the body and horns of Nola will be donated to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Her remains will be preserved so that scientists now and in the future can continue to study the species. Only 3 northern white rhinos remain in the world. Hagen stores have bankruptcy court approval for the sale of their supermarkets. Many of the sales in Southern California are to Albertsons and Smart & Final. In San Diego, Albertsons will take over former Hagen stores on Highland Village Place, El Cajon, La Mesa, and Rancho Bernardo. Smart & Final is approved to buy the store on University Avenue. Hagen opened stores in the spring and filed for bankruptcy in September. There are new signs more Californians are dropping out of the workforce and not returning. California's unemployment rate has dipped to 5.8%, but labor force data shows only 60% of people are employed. Experts blame climate change measures and other legislation. They say these factors forced 9,000 businesses out of California.
We are critically losing middle-class jobs. We've lost 2 million manufacturing jobs that have not come back. We've lost over 1 million construction jobs that have not come back.
60% is the lowest state employment rate in more than 3 decades. Many people are getting ready to shop until they drop. As dozens of stores remain open for Black Friday shoppers, KPBS reporter Steve Walsh says California lawmakers want retailers to make it worth it for their workers.
It's a follow-up to a bill that failed to pass in 2014, designed to ensure that anyone who works Thanksgiving Day receives holiday pay. Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez announced Wednesday that she plans to introduce a slimmed-down version that covers only retail workers when lawmakers come back to Sacramento next year. She says the bill won't hurt retailers, as her critics have suggested.
They can choose to not open up. They all have online stores as well. So it is as much trying to support and, of course, give some dignity to families that are forced to work on Thanksgiving, as much as attacking the culture that we now find in our society.
Under her bill, hourly workers would receive double pay for working Thanksgiving. She says it's a response to retailers like Walmart and Target who have chosen to open their stores Thanksgiving Day. Other retailers like Petco and Home Depot announced that they will remain closed for the holiday. Steve Walsh, KPBS News.
And Thanksgiving is the one day each year many people go off their diet and indulge themselves. But 13 billion calories, that's what San Diegans will be consuming tomorrow. Kenny Goldberg talks with an economist who's crunched the holiday numbers.
There's one word that describes holiday eating and holiday spending: big. Joining us with the details is the San Diego Association of Government's chief economist, Ray Major. Ray, you deal with numbers all day long. What are some numbers you can tell us about Thanksgiving?
Well, as the 2.8 million residents of San Diego who are going to celebrate Thanksgiving sit down for dinner tomorrow, we'll be spending about $15 million preparing about 428,000 turkeys and consuming 13 billion calories tomorrow.
How many turkeys again?
428,000 turkeys.
That's an incredible number.
There are a lot of residents eating turkeys here in San Diego.
Now, the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday. What are we talking about in terms of total spending on that day, do you anticipate?
Well, Black Friday spending this year, we expect it to be up just slightly from last year. So we're looking at regionally spending about $553 million over the Black Friday to Cyber Monday time period.
And what sort of economic impact does the Thanksgiving holiday bring to San Diego?
Well, the Thanksgiving holiday, or the whole holiday season, brings a lot of impact to San Diego because we have about 1.1 million additional visitors who come to the San Diego region during the holiday season. They travel about 366,000 additional vehicle trips, and they spend money over here. We create about 30,000 jobs that bring in about $32 million to the economy.
Just during the Thanksgiving to Christmas holidays?
During the holiday season, yes.
And how does that compare tourism-wise with other parts of the year in San Diego?
Well, the peak tourism season in San Diego is the summertime, so it would be higher than it is right now. However, we compare it to the rest of the year where it's about 1 million less than we have this month.
What sort of boost do the holidays give to San Diego economically speaking?
Well, you have additional retail spending, especially in stores, as well as online. There's additional holiday spending on money, food, consumer goods, things like that. And again, the additional jobs that are created also help boost the economy.
What kind of jobs are you talking about?
Most of those jobs are retail-related jobs, retail and restaurant-related jobs, and they're mostly seasonal workers.
How did you decipher all of these numbers? I mean, this is just incredible.
Well, a lot of times what we do is we take the U.S. data that we have, things like the USDA helps us figure out how much the actual cost of a Thanksgiving meal is. We have San Diego data that we collect, for instance, population data, and a lot of it is just crunching the numbers, the math, factoring, and figuring out what the San Diego proportion is of the total numbers. probably have 10, 15 data sources that we use to put these numbers together.
And how about that total number of turkeys? That's the one that keeps bowling me over. How did you come to that amount?
Well, we took a look at national averages, and we calculated the number of pounds of turkey per person, which is about 1.6 pounds per person is consumed. Average turkey size 16 pounds. And we took a look at how many people that feeds and factored it down to the 2.8 million that are eating Thanksgiving dinner this holiday season.
And we're talking about billions of calories, is that
Billions
correct?
of calories, 13 billion calories. Each one of those meals is about 4,500 calories. That people are consuming. If you needed to work that off, you'd have to walk from San Ysidro up to Carlsbad.
How many times?
One time if you wanted to work to burn off the 4,500 calories. That's about 45 miles.
That's amazing. Hey, Ray Major from Sandag, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Signs of trouble in Toyland. A new report shows choking hazards and toxic substances may plague presents from Santa's workshop. Experts with the California Public Interest Research Group studied several toys on the market now. They also found magnetic toys and excessively noisy toys that could damage a child's ear.
We found this Fun Bubbles jump rope, which contains 10,000 parts per million of the banned phthalate DEHP, which is 10 times the limit.
Researchers say these reports have led to at least 150 recalls over 3 decades. 'Tis the season for giving and receiving. Too many people may be camping out for Black Friday deals. Now people can enjoy the best of both worlds. Associated Press reporter Krista Forea shows us the partnerships that are making a difference.
Holiday shoppers are finding new ways to save money and give back at the same time. Good Shop, Amazon Smile, and iGive are among several organizations that partner with retailers to help raise money for charity. When customers use these services, a portion of the profits are donated to the shopper's charity of choice.
We're using a couple of sites, but the one that's shown us the most return is Good Shop.
Dreams for Kids DC is a nonprofit that organizes sports clinics for children with disabilities.
Since we are a small nonprofit, it's really just me and some interns. We really do a lot of letter writing, just requesting from individuals, from our volunteers, from our parents.
We've donated close to $12 million. If anyone wants to go on our site and look at any of these charities and schools, you can see actually how much they've raised per year and per product that we have.
The Treehouse Humane Society is a no-kill cat shelter in Chicago that has raised more than $6,000 with Good Shop.
It's a really great way for people to help us just by doing the things they normally would do. We have so many needs here, and we can use the funds to help care for the cats, everyday things like their food and litter, and water and supplies.
Finding a way to make a difference in the community during the holiday season.
It's become going to the doorbuster sale and waking up at 4 a.m. and standing in the cold and then trampling over your neighbor. It's about buying gifts and not about really family and giving back, which we think is most important.
Reminding consumers that even small efforts can make a big difference. Krista Fourier, Associated Press.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, Gwen Ifill talks with the First Lady of Soul, Aretha Franklin. That's Wednesday on the PBS News Hour.
Time flies, but apparently turkeys don't. Just one of many bad jokes from today's holiday tradition at the White House. President Obama pardoned 2 turkeys. Both were named after the nation's most admired presidents. Honest and Abe were the names California school children picked for the turkeys. Honest has a red face and neck, while Abe's crown features more extensive blue splotches. The president referred to them as TOTUS, or Turkey of the United States. And time is running out to prepare your Thanksgiving Day feast, but don't panic. Kenny Goldberg talks with one of San Diego's top chefs about last-minute holiday cooking tips.
Joining me now is Chef Bernard Guillas, Executive Chef of the Marine Room Restaurant in La Jolla. Chef Bernard, welcome.
Bonjour.
Thanksgiving can be a very stressful time for cooks. How do they make it less stressful on themselves?
You need to make sure that you have already a prep list and an ordering list with a timeline. If you do so, you will have no problem. Gather your ingredients today, start preparing today. Cranberry relish should be done, your stuffing should be done. Make sure that you're brining the turkeys, the process is already going. You will need about 20 hours to brine the turkey, so if you start, let's say, this afternoon, you'll be perfect for tomorrow.
Now, what about aromatics, the kind of things that you use in the turkey? Talk about that. What are those?
Well, I love to use, for example, hard cider. So you use a hard cider, you use some sea salt, some fresh thyme, sage, star anise, peppercorn. All those will infuse with the turkey. And then it will brine overnight. So then you remove the brine, and then you start to cook. The great part of it is when you are brining your turkey, the cooking process, you're able to retain all that moisture, which is really good. And you have to baste, and baste more.
How often do you baste?
Every 20 minutes.
Really?
Every 20 minutes you have to baste. It's really good because it smells really good in the house. You know, that kitchen is on fire. I mean, no pun intended. It's gorgeous. You have a little glass of wine. You're with friends and family. And that's what Thanksgiving is all about.
Now, you're a professional chef with many years of experience. Some chefs at home aren't quite as experienced as you. What are some surefire tips to get just a perfect turkey at home?
325 degrees is what your oven needs to be. It will take you about 4.5 hours, 4 to 4.5 hours for a 22 to 24 pound turkey. And then you have to baste and make sure that you do it every 20 minutes and you'll be just fine. It's really easy when you look at it. But the thing that you can do also is if you prepare your stuffing ahead of time, you can add the stuffing in your oven for the last 20 minutes, which is really fantastic. So like this 20 to 30 minutes, stuffing is ready, bird is ready, and don't forget, you need to rest the bird half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour. So like this, it will be nice and juicy when you slice it.
Why do you rest the turkey?
You need to rest the turkey because the carcass really absorb a lot of the heat, and you cook it to 175 degrees in the thickest part of the thigh. If you cook it more than that, your turkey will be overcooked, because what happened is the bone structure who has absorbed all that heat, it continues to cook by itself. So even that you take the turkey and you leave it outside, it really continue to cook by itself for another, I would say, 15 minutes, and then it rests. And when you rest it, all the juices are distributed evenly in the flesh. So this is why you will have a really moist turkey.
What are some common mistakes that home chefs often make when cooking Thanksgiving?
Well, overcooking the bird is one thing, or experimenting with a technique that they do not know about. So if you want to do, for example, deep fried turkey, just make sure that you do your research. It's going to be really fast. It's about 4 minutes per pound. But you have to make sure that you cook it at 400 degrees and there is no water whatsoever. So the disaster could be that there is a little bit of water, because that turkey somehow we just finished to defrost it and it's fine, but there's a little bit of pocket of water. That pocket of water will mix with the oil and then can create a fire. So to be safe is very, very important.
Can you barbecue a turkey?
Yes, I love to barbecue turkey. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. You can barbecue it on a gas grill. So you need to bring it to about 500 to 550 degrees for about, I would say, 10 minutes. And then you turn it on to medium, and then you place your bird in it. If you are cooking it on coals, you will have to prepare your coals for about 30 minutes. And then you cook it on the coals, and it really is awesome as well. The only thing is you really need to pay attention. But, you know, tomorrow is going to be gorgeous outside. So, you know, mom or dad, you know, if you want to cook it on the barbecue, it's really cool as well, because now you don't make a mess in the house. So that's a great way as well. The only thing is you still lose all these gorgeous aromatics who are screaming, "It's Thanksgiving, family."
Well, we have some of your recipes on our website, kpbs.org. Chef Bernard, thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, to you and your family as well.
Thank you.
And celebrating Turkey Day early with the Salvation Army. They helped feed hundreds of families in need today. KPBS reporter Matt Bowler says their work continues beyond the holidays.
By 10 a.m., the line stretched into the street. Seniors got a seat first, then the rest of the community came in. The Salvation Army will serve more than 300 at this Chula Vista Community Center. Kathy Becerra says many volunteers hear about the holiday meals the Salvation Army serves and are inspired to help the rest of the year.
You know, this is the only day that we can get media to see what we do. So a lot of people see it on the TV or hear it on the radio or something, so they know that if they come volunteer, they will make a difference for the county or the community.
Wednesday was the first Thanksgiving meal. On the holiday, the Salvation Army feeds thousands. Matt Bowler, KPBS News.
It was Pie Central today across San Diego. Thousands of pecan pumpkin, apple, and Dutch apple pies were distributed today by Mama's Kitchen. They were donated by chefs across the county for the Pie in the Sky fundraiser. For almost 11 years, Wells Fargo has been partnered with Mama's Kitchen to help distribute the pies at 19 branch locations.
It's a great opportunity for people to get a great pie from some of the best places in San Diego, some of the best chefs that are creating these pies, but at the same time benefit a great organization and a great cause.
Mama's Kitchen has been cooking and delivering home-cooked meals for over 25 years on every day of the year. The organization hopes to fund more than 32,000 meals for those struggling with critical illness, especially during the holidays.
I will actually be delivering meals tomorrow. They get a Thanksgiving meal. It's a nice feast, and it's a special time, and it's nice to see all of these clients on Thanksgiving Day when they might not otherwise get a nice hot meal.
And each pie sold is equal to 7 home-delivered meals to San Diegans who are battling cancer or AIDS. The fundraiser is the largest of its kind on the West Coast. And here's a look at what we're working on for Friday in the KPBS newsroom. On Morning Edition, a book transformed into a Hollywood blockbuster by Martin Scorsese, The San Diego Connection to the Silver Screen. That's Friday on KPBS Radio. And you can find tonight's stories on our website. That's at kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening and a happy Thanksgiving.